Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. My name is Chris. Today we're reviewing a 2025 Suzuki Hayabusa. Suzuki Hayabusa came out in 1999 to 2007, and then they took a year break, and then they came back in a second generation in 2008 all the way to 2019, and then they took another 2-year break based on European emissions regulations, and then they came back strong with a third generation that we're looking at here today in 2021, and they've been going strong ever since. On this third generation, they added 550 plus new parts and design. In 1999, Suzuki Hayabusa was competing with the top leading bikes like the ZX-11 and the Honda Blackbird. Rumors say that they were going against speed regulations marked at 186 miles an hour, marking this bike the fastest bike in the world around that time period. Suzuki came out with their Hayabusa name, which means peregrine falcon. It was a direct threat against Honda when they came out with their leading bike around 1999, was the Honda Blackbird. The cool thing that Suzuki did is they added the symbol Hayabusa right on the fender. That's a cool touch. The reason why I like Hayabusa, it's a class of its own. It's a cross between sports touring and a sports bike. So you get a mix of both. But also the look of the bike looks very sporty. That's the reason why I like it. And even it looks like a Falcon. Let's go over the design of the bike. The reason why I like the Suzuki or even the Hayabusa model, it has one giant headlight, kind of give it that cool touch. And then these giant vents keeping the nose down, and then the turn signal goes right on the fender and set it on the mirror. Now let's take a look at the side of the bike. The Hayabusa has this huge fairing that covers this huge motor. Because I'm a close fairing kind of guy, I don't like open fairings. That's the reason why I like Hayabusa. It gives us more of a sleek look. As we go through the seat, it doesn't have a hard seat. It has a soft seat. Like I said, this is a cross between a sports bike and a sports touring bike. That gives it comfort. And Hayabusa always maintains their touch with this hump in the back, keeping your butt from sliding back at full acceleration. That's a cool thing that Hayabusa has been sticking with. When it comes to comfort, they even added padded foot pegs for the passenger and even the rider. Hayabusa is known for their dual exhaust setup. I kind of like that touch. Some people like it, some people don't. For me, I love it. Gives it this nice big and bold drag look. Knowing how big the motor is, it needs to breathe. Let's talk about the brakes. It has 4-piston Brembo calipers, slotted dual rotors. This thing will stop on a dime, knowing this bike weighs about almost 600 pounds. Talk about the best part about this bike. It's the motor. It's a 1340cc inline 4, putting out 190 horsepower and 114 foot-pounds of torque. This engine you can do so much to. You can add a turbocharger to it. You can add a supercharger. This motor can put out a lot of juice. I remember people saying that you can push this thing up to 700 horsepower, and it's reliable too. I've seen people run this bike up to almost 200,000 miles, and it still goes. Let's talk about the electronics. What they did is they added an analog setup, and they added the centerpiece that's digital. Kind of gives it that classic look, but when it comes to the eye, it's easier to look at an analog setup than a digital setup. That's a cool touch. On the Gen 3, they added so much electronics on the bike. I really can't go over all of it, but they added cruise control. They added 3 factory rider modes. They have 3 custom user rider modes. They even have launch control. They have ABS cornering. The list goes on. A few other things I like to talk about. It has traction control on the fly. You can choose different power modes on the fly. Even has speed shift. Okay, how to use launch control. First, you got to turn on the bike. And what you're going to do is you're going to hold the start button for 2 seconds. It's going to come up saying launch control, and you can set the RPMs at different levels from 3, 5, and 8. And all you're going to do is you're going to rev it up till the needle starts banging at the top with a speed limiter, and then pop the clutch, and you're off. Talk about the really fancy thing about this bike. It's the Bosch upgraded electronic system. It's called the SIRS system, the Suzuki Intelligent Riding System. It's basically an inertia measurement system. It controls your bike going forward, back, up, down, left, right, 6 different ways. What it does, it keeps the bike in a nice planted position. If you're coming around tight around a turn, it's gonna basically tell the electronic system to keep the bike from going out of control. At the same time when you're accelerating or braking. Let's talk about the factory rider modes that Suzuki added to this bike. It has A, B, and C. A for being wild, C for being mild. So if you want to deactivate everything, you put it on ride A. And you want all the electronics to help and support you as a safe rider, you put it on level C. To top it off, the price of this bike is fair. It's under 20 grand, and this beats most supercars. All right, let's take this Hayabusa for a rip. Now go get one. That's a wrap on the Suzuki Hayabusa. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to like and subscribe.